The topic, one of the topics that is near and dear to my heart is the idea that software and now AI, especially agentic workflows that are able to parse out so much data, gives you the ability now to automate, scale, and execute personalized attention for each and every one of your customers. And this is something that pays so much in the way of dividends in the long run that a lot of people tend to look over and think that it's either going to be too much work, it's going to be too much in the way of coding, it's going to be too much in the way of losing that human touch if you use technology to scale that personal attention, like one of my mentors, Jermaine Griggs, talks about. All right, so let's get into this awesome topic. This is seriously one of my most favorite topics ever. And there's a big reason for that is one, hardly anyone does this. Two is that it differentiates you from everybody else. Even an email that's more custom is differentiating between the email that's more along the lines of like an email blast. And three, with AI, it's become way more easy to do this type of thing. Okay. So let's talk about automating personalized customer experience. I love AI because I'm able to create these presentations literally off of all of the data that I've fed it over a period of time. And so it understands, just like you can understand your client, it understands me as a client, and I'm able to create even just these little presentations like this so fast and be able to share this with you guys. This is stuff that I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars learning. And now, like back in the day, which I'll share in a little bit, it was so much harder to do this type of stuff. You have it so easy now that it you don't need to go crazy. Even one little personalized automation can do such a huge thing for your business. Okay. So let's talk about automating personal customer experience and how to scale personal attention without you losing that human touch. Okay. So first things first, let me move my face out of the way here. All right. As you're growing in a business, think about when you first started your business, or if you are in your business right now, how much personalized touch you can give your client, how much you can talk to them, how much you can get information from them. You could be on a sales call for hours getting all this information, and you guys become super close. Well, as time goes on, you start building a team, you start getting more and more clients. That time starts to dwindle, right? As you grow your personal relationships, there's kind of like an inverse, not really inverse. Sometimes it is, but your personal touch is going this way, and the scale of your growth is going this way, and so you get bigger. Generally, you're in the traditional way of doing business, you're going to lose that one-on-one personal touch, right? And the thing is that there are automations. You have CRMs out there, customer relationship managers, you like Salesforce and ActiveCampaign and all these other tools that you have, and you can send that automated email every week, but it starts to feel a little sterile. There's not a hey Dean, how's the such and such going? There's not that knowledge of the individual person. All right. And if you over time, you're just creating this distance. Not that it's bad. It's better than nothing for sure. But the problem is that in the world of automation, in the world of AI, in the world of being remote, especially, customers crave that human connection. And it becomes more and more and more important as we become more and more digital, more and more automated, and so on. Most automation kills relationship. It'll kill your relationships with your clients just through the sheer. Imagine having kids and eventually just ignoring them. That kid's gonna have a horrible life, right? And they're gonna probably leave. Same thing goes with clients. You want to be able to scale that personal attention, whether it's through an account manager being able to have time to get on calls and things like that, or gifts, or even just knowledge about that individual. You're going to see that there's so much more that you can do now through the non-traditional means of automation. Smart automation grows that personal touch. Okay. All right, so one of my mentors, Jermaine Griggs, he runs hereandplay.com. He had a thing called Automation Clinic. I'm not sure if he still does that, but he's won like GKIC's Marketer of the Year a couple times. He is the marketing automation guru. Super amazing guy. Built I'm guessing from what I can tell, a 10-figure business with only a handful of people. And his concept from the very start, back when Aweber, the automation email first came out, and even before that, his thing was you can use automation and technology to amplify human connection and not replace it. And it's through this systematic process of getting data, specific little data pieces about your clients up front and during their time with you, that you're able to then give them an experience that they won't get anywhere else. And this allows you to maintain that personal touch at every touch point, from the time they're a lead to the time that they pay and get onboarded, to the time they become a client, to the time that you part ways. I've had it several times where a client's parted ways, and a year later, 2 years later, they end up coming back, and they come back even stronger because of these personal touches. Okay. The cool thing is this becomes measurable. You're going to be able to track what works, what doesn't, and continuously improve. Okay. It's not to replace humans. It's to empower them to connect more effectively at scale. Okay. Another hero of mine is Dan Kennedy. He does direct response marketing, which means, you're getting data, you're reaching out to a client and they're responding with something. And the two of Jermaine Griggs and Dan Kennedy, both of those play a huge role in all of this. Okay. So at every interaction, you're like with Dan Kennedy, he sends a mailing out or he sends an email. He wants to get some kind of data, whether it's a click, whether it's a filling out a survey, whether it's buying getting a free product, whether it's getting a paid product, even a free product. Let's think of why you want to do this. Okay. Dan Kennedy will send out an email, and there might be a link to a free video. There might be a link to a free product. There might be a link to a paid product, and there might be a link to get on his other type of newsletter or whatever. If the product was, let's say the free product link was about, something like how to improve your HVAC business, and it was sent out to all of his list, the people who click that link more than likely either have an HVAC business or they want to have an HVAC business. Okay. One little click tells you something about that person. And so it's these little data points that you can collect over time that allow for you to get a picture. This is what Google does. This is what Amazon does. This is why when you are traveling to a client that you normally travel to, you look at your phone and Amazon says, hey, while you're in Honolulu, why don't you go and get XYZ? Because they know exactly where you are, they know what you like, and so on and so forth, because they've gotten all these little data pieces from you, the little data points. So the thing is, with like Dan Kennedy, focus on customer lifetime value rather than quick wins. A systematic approach, getting these little things of processes that get these little amounts of data. So response rates, retention rates, referral rates, things like that are super important in understanding what your customer or customers are resonating with, and you're able to start personalizing over time. So systematic sales that feels personal. There should be a convert right here, but we're good. So automated lead scoring. So when I was diehard into Jermaine Griggs, this was back when I had the Online Empire Academy. The Online Empire Academy had it basically was how to sell on Amazon. And this is when Amazon FBA was just becoming super popular. And what we did was we had a free automated webinar that when somebody came into that free automated webinar, it was like it brought them into also like a 4-video series of teaching them very specific things about Amazon. If they would watch a certain amount of the video, it would unlock the next day's video immediately. This is a Jermaine Griggs tool. So it would track, hey, did they watch 30 minutes of the 1 hour video or whatever? It would unlock the next day. And it would send an email saying, hey, noticed you've watched you've watched this video. Good on you. Most people don't take action. And so boom, it sends that next video. And if they watch that, it'll unlock again and it'll unlock again. And during that video, there would be questions that they get, these little data questions that would like kind of pop up. It'd be like, have you ever paid for coaching? Have you, are you a beginner to Amazon? Are you intermediate? What? And it would ask these tiny little questions, just like one tiny little survey question as they're watching, because they're watching it anyway, so they can just go and click on it, and that was that. Well, that one question, have you ever paid for private coaching? Yes, they click. If they click yes, that tells me that this is not somebody who's just going to want free stuff. They value their time. They're willing to pay a couple $1,000s for private coaching. Huge. And so when somebody bought from us and actually joined the academy and got the course that we offered, which was I want to say it was like $697 or something like that, or $497. They got in there. That data that I already had, later on it would say, hey, since you already got private coaching before, would you be interested in coaching from us? And it would actually say, just FYI, it's $5,000 or more. And if they said yes, how important do you think that data was? Do you think we would sleep on that data? No. How important do you think that data is to them? Yeah, $5,000 is a lot of money. But for them, they're like, I'd rather just have coaching and start making money like right away. During the actual process of the course that we had, the Online Empire Academy course where we taught you how to do stuff, it would track. It would actually ask questions like, did you send in your first items? If they didn't, it'll say, hey, I totally get it, but I'll give you 7 more days. Here's how to do it. Make sure you watch these videos and let me know. I'm going to reach back out in 7 days and I need to know that you sent these items. And if they said, yes, I've sent at least one item, great. Then it moves on to the next thing and to the next thing and next thing. These are like the little things that were, and I would get emails from them saying, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, I'll do it. But the cool thing is we had such a high success rate because we were the only course that was basically asking these things and basically like spanking them when they weren't doing what they were supposed to do. How awesome is that? Like what company does that? Does Amazon say, "Hey, I noticed that you bought such and such. Did you actually give it a try?" Oh, you didn't? Well, here in 7 days, I'm going to reach out back to you, and one of our clients or one of our account managers are going to call you just to make sure that you're happy with the product. No, it doesn't happen. Obviously, or even like a course that you bought, a business course. What business course is going to do that, right? But it made a huge difference, and we had a high success rate of people who actually started their Amazon business, right? Um, these little touches these allow you to score leads. They like in the sense of like, is this a hot lead? Is this a cold lead? And so on. It allows you to do personalized outreach, like I said, based on behaviors, right? And then a giftology principle that I have is there's this is a book, Giftology. Let's see if I actually have my. Oh yeah, right here. Great book, Giftology, right there. Okay, that book right there. You know, these little strategic touch points allow you to deliver value and happiness and increase your revenue at the same time by giving gifts at the exact right time that spur the client to better themselves in some fashion or another. And it makes them happy, helps them to learn more, to grow more, and so on. So, first impressions, obviously, like your automated welcome sequences. For me, which I've shown in the past videos, the first thing once somebody schedules a discovery call for Prosulum is they get a video kind of outlining what's going to happen, but my sales team gets a full dossier on the person. It's like a huge like scraped from their website, what their disc profile is, all these different things. Let me move this actually. Hold on one second, just so you can see everything here. Make sure. Okay, yeah, I just want to make sure you're able to see everything. Was it like this before? Hopefully, you guys were able to see everything. Okay. Anyway, we'll see it. You'll see it now, and I'll move myself out of the way if I'm in the way. Um, my sales team gets a full dossier on all of them. So by the time they get into the sales call, like my sales team knows everything about the person and their business and questions to ask and so on. So right away, the person on the phone call is like, "Oh, you guys are so good. You guys know so much about me." The cool thing is you can do that as time goes on during the onboarding. You can progressively get information, or when they're clients, they can every click that they give, anytime that you send out even a physical newsletter and they sign up for a course or a class, or they these little progressive information gathering things. You can do things what I like to like. This is a Jermaine Griggs trick. Is we can say, hey, just for security purposes, and once they're on the onboarding, what is your birth date, just in case we need to ask for a security, just for security purposes. And part of that is for security purposes. Part of that is to send a birthday gift sometimes, depending on the client and how much they've done with us. You can do these little things that give you the ability to do these strategic gift moments, right? And then, all of these allow you to personalize everything. Simple, focused, onboarding, customer retention that works, not these complex systems. You create these little tiny data point gathering things that keep your systems simple but deliver so much value to the client over time. So things that like that we would gather is, obviously location, industry, how long have they been in the industry, what are their even on the call, like if we notice that they like a specific sports team or things like that, you can gather all these data points and put them into custom fields in your CRM. Especially now with AI, you can have AI go through the Zoom calls that you have had and populate your CRM with all of the different data points, all the different custom fields that it knows. Like if it hears that the person is a Yankees fan, it'll say it'll automatically put Yankees into favorite baseball team or whatever, right? And so this goes beyond the basic demographics. Like CRMs, like Active Campaign, you can have an unlimited amount of custom fields that you can create. That one little tiny little piece of data, favorite baseball team, Yankees. Now you have a gift. Let's say that client's been with you for a long time. You get them a signed Yankees bat. Like they're going to remember that forever, and it's going to be hanging on their wall. They're going to look at it and go, "Yeah, dude, that was Pro Sulam that gave that to me," and they'll always remember that, right? So this is powerful stuff. So you can also create trigger-based personalization, track relationship history, things like that. It's pretty amazing. Communication preferences, family details, important dates, personal and professional interests, business challenges and goals. And then you can progressively profile your client through natural interactions, not all these overwhelming forms, not these huge surveys, right? You have behavioral data, reveals preferences through actions, not just stated preferences. Social listening provides context about interests and challenges without direct questioning, right? The cool thing is with AI, now you're able to, even if you copied the transcript from a Zoom call, popped that into ChatGPT and said, "Hey, these are," and you popped in all your custom profiles, because I think you, like with most CRMs, you can actually update custom profiles as well by bulk updating. You can go and have like a little system for your account managers or sales team or administrative or a virtual systems architect from Pro Sulam, half the cost, if not less than the cost of somebody in the minimum wage in the United States. Pretty awesome. Have them go and bulk update. Say, here's the template for the CSV template for bulk updating our CRM custom fields. Here is Zoom call. Update this template with everything that you can find of this Zoom call, and then you upload that template, and now you have all that behavioral data, all that data from the Zoom call about that person, right? And then, so it says collect what you'll actually use. I learned from Jermaine Griggs to collect as much as you possibly can that you think you'll use. Even if you don't use it in the future, the more data you have, the more you're going to be able to correlate that data to an action. Cool thing is with AI, you're able to, oh my gosh, you're able to get and update this data so much easier. You can have an N8N workflow or a make.com workflow that basically says, listen to this Zoom transcript. Here are all of the different custom fields. Output all the things that you hear into this custom field like format, and then upload to Active Campaign or upload to Salesforce or upload to whatever. And now just automatically you're able to gather all of this data about this person just off of that first Zoom call from your sales team that would normally just get lost. And now you can personalize things. So freaking cool. And the cool thing about this is that you're able to keep customers for life. Or if they leave, they're going to be happy customers who left because they just maybe grew out of using you. Personalized follow-ups, milestone celebrations like anniversaries, kids' birthdays, things like that. Proactive problem solving through monitoring usage patterns, personalized loyalty programs. We used to have on the Online Empire Academy, had this referral program where if they referred a certain amount of people, they got 10%. If they got referred more, they got 20%, like lifetime. And then if they've referred more, it went all the way up to 50%, but it was tiered, and that was based off of the data, right? Customer happiness equals predictable and personal, okay? Consistently reaching out and being proactive. Unexpected personal touches. It's moments of delight that, everyone thinks, they'll get that email, hey, happy birthday. But do they get that personal, like that gift in the mail? No, right? You can do NPS, which is the Net Promoter Score. That helps out a lot. The scale of 1 to 10. How likely are you to continue using or to refer? If it's anywhere below if it's 7 or below, then the customer is actually not happy. If it's 8, then there's something that needs to be fixed. 9 and 10, likewise. 9, there's something there that you need to address, and then 10 means that everything's good. Okay. But it's through all of this that you're able to deliver this predictable and personal experience that delivers happiness. So for example, like if you wanted to get something like this started, so month 1, like what are your current touch points? What's your current customer journey? Basic automation structure. Like what would you do? What would you want if you were a client coming through? And then, you define your key metrics and like measurement framework. Like what, from a lead, what do you want them to do in order to get for example, like a free gift in the mail? Like if they do these specific actions, you'll mail them your XYZ workbook for free. They just have to pay for shipping or something like that. If they don't do those actions, maybe they did half of them and they'll get that workbook, but it's the online version and it's free, but they have to answer a 3-question survey or something like that. These are the things that you want to do just from the lead side of things. And then there's the prospect, and then there's the client that's being onboarded, and then there's client that's been with you, right? And then the next month is configuring those personalized triggers in your CRM, setting up custom fields, creating automated but personal communication sequences. And then month 3, integrate like a strategic gift moment into a customer journey. Even if it was like an $10 Amazon gift card that was sent via email or something like that. Like just to start. The physical card is much better, or the physical gift is much better, but just to start. And you want to make sure that the numbers make sense. You don't want to send this to everybody, but that initial touch makes a difference. And then you can implement AI-powered personalization recommendations, especially when it has all the data. It can start figuring out, oh yeah, this is how I would do it, and then you can optimize. Okay, just start small, iterate quickly, focus on what actually works. And then obviously you want to measure all this stuff. Is this actually helping? Is this making your customers more happy? Are you getting more referrals? Are you getting more clients and things like that? Okay. You have to be able to measure it. You have to. Okay. track the impact of personalization. Okay, response rates. Like what is it right now? Before you started doing something, what is it like now? Okay, before and after. Before, maybe you got one referral a month. Now all of a sudden you're getting 5 referrals a month. That's something that's measurable. Now, what makes it even more powerful is if you knew for a fact that this referral was because of XYZ. So we have a referral program where um, where it's very easy for us to tell if it came from a referral, and the person who is coming in benefits and the person who referred benefits, right? But that allows us to track how our referral program is actually going. So what we do, we have virtual systems architects. They're virtual assistants with superpower. These are real human beings that for pretty much like in California, it's $20 an hour here for minimum wage, pretty much. And good luck getting someone that's amazing for minimum wage here in California. A virtual systems architect is way better than somebody who works minimum wage. They are a remote virtual assistant who not just does the task, they take what you showed them, document them into a process, could be a personalization process, document it into a step-by-step process with pictures and everything like that. And then they do the task without fail. Like the typical virtual assistant that you would hire out there, or the typical minimum wage person, you show them how to do a task, they give you a ton of questions back, and then if they do it successfully, great. That's perfect. They might not do it successfully the next time. They leave and they come back. You get somebody else in there. Now you have to train that person again. No. A virtual systems architect takes that task, documents it, and then does it. And now you have that task documented into a step-by-step checklist with pictures. And then you give them another task and another and another. And eventually, your entire business is documented into a checklist. And you never have to do anything ever again because everyone in your business, including the virtual systems architect, can do it. So everything's process driven. Okay. You can focus on growth. They focus on the doing. So systems plus outsourcing equals freedom. And this is how I'm able to do the stuff that I do, like doing videos all day and then going and spending time with my family and doing things that I love. The more that you're able to systemize, the more that you're able to create processes documented and have everyone in your team do it, the more you're able to grow. Okay. So if you're interested in that, go get a virtual systems architect. Okay. And you can do that by scheduling your free discovery call at www.prosulum.com/schedule. And you will get in touch with our strategists and they'll go through your business and see if a virtual systems architect is right for you. And then you can start scaling personal attention. You can create a process where it's like, hey, every time a customer calls, this is the script that I want you to use, and this is how I want you to do it. And I want you to then call back a week later. I want you to go to your calendar. You're going to then put in your calendar a week later to call them back just to make sure everything's all good. So now the VSA documents all that, and you have your first personal attention thing scaled. You didn't have to write it. You didn't have to do it. But now your entire team, as soon as a client calls, asks a question, they get an answer, boom, it goes. They go into their calendar for a week later, calls that customer back and just says, hey, I just want to make sure everything's all good. Thanks for calling last week. You had this issue. Just want to make sure that everything's still all good. Yes, it's all good. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Boom. What, that took you 5 minutes to show how to do something like that, and now you just scaled personal attention. You scaled your first personal attention process. That's how easy it is with a virtual systems architect. Okay, pretty much half the cost, more often than not, than somebody who works minimum wage in California. That's the starting. Obviously, if you want someone that's even, we have different tiers, but your typical virtual systems architect is way better than somebody that's minimum wage here in California and does way more than you could ever imagine. So go to www.prosulum.com/schedule and hop on a call, see if a virtual systems architect is right for you, and start scaling your personal attention. This is Dean Soto, and I will see you in the next video after you've started your scaling personal attention process, hopefully with a virtual systems architect. See you.